All right, let's dive into one of the wildest ideas in neuroscience, the theory of dual consciousness. It's a concept that challenges our fundamental understanding of self and identity. Imagine for a second that you could literally have two minds living inside one skull, each with its own thoughts, perceptions, and even intentions. Sounds like science fiction, right? But this idea actually has some real science behind it, born from a radical surgical procedure. It's all thanks to a guy named Michael Gazzaniga and his famous split-brain experiments. So here's the setup. Some patients with severe debilitating epilepsy had a radical surgery where doctors performed a corpus callosotomy, cutting the corpus callosum. That's the superhighway of nerves, a thick bundle connecting the left and right halves of your brain. The primary goal was to stop catastrophic seizures from spreading from one hemisphere to the other, and it worked. But the side effects? They were absolutely fascinating. After the surgery, these patients appeared normal, but were, in some very strange ways, living with two separate streams of consciousness. Each hemisphere of the brain was now basically working solo because the main information highway that usually lets them swap information was completely out of service. To probe the unique capabilities of each disconnected hemisphere, Gazzaniga came up with a bunch of clever experiments. One classic test went like this. By having a patient focus on a central point, he could flash a word or image to just one side of the brain. For example, if you flash the word key to the left visual field, it only gets processed by the right hemisphere. Here's the twist. For most people, only the left side of the brain can actually talk. So when Gazzaniga asked the patient what they saw, they'd say, "I didn't see anything." Their speaking left brain was being completely honest. It was truly unaware. But if you asked them to pick up the object with their left hand, guided by the right brain, they'd grab a key. No problem. The silent hemisphere knew the answer. It's like each side of the brain has its own awareness, its own agenda. The left hemisphere, which Gazzaniga dubbed the interpreter, is all about language, logic, and creating a coherent narrative to explain our actions. The right? More about visual and spatial stuff, and it doesn't always get a say. Sometimes the two sides would even give conflicting answers. In one famous case, the right brain wanted to be a race car driver, while the left brain wanted to be a draftsman. So, what does all this tell us? Dual consciousness theory suggests that if you split the brain, you don't just get a confused person. You get two separate minds inside one head. It's like each hemisphere is its own little person, with its own thoughts and feelings just trapped together. Think about what that means for our sense of self. Are you really one person, or is your unified sense of self just a convincing story told by your dominant hemisphere? Gazzaniga's experiments don't just make us question how the brain works. They make us rethink what it means to be you. Wild, right?